All right, let's go for the first speaker of today, ladies and gentlemen. And our first speaker of today says, well, this and all you know that. It's become an on-demand world. There's no offline, there's no downtime, there's no static state. We want, the customer expects more and more of us, and that transforms our business, and that's why you need to work so hard. And that's what we're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. He is from Suse. Give him a warm round of applause. Alan Clark. Alan, please come forward. Good to see you.
Hi, thank
15
you.
minutes for you. All right. Take it away.
The countdown. Can you hear me? There we go. Now I can hear. All right. Let me grab the beeper here. So I want to talk about something called moment of need. And to introduce this, I want to have everybody think about cloud in the perspective of a user. Right? So given our survey, we find out we're all from the IT department, and we're very used to talking to cloud, to our customers, telling them it's going to save them time, money, energy, reduce their staff, so forth. But I want to flip it a little bit, and let's talk about it from the user's perspective, okay? Why, and my premise here is that we, as users, are the ones that are causing change. We're the ones that are actually causing change and adoption of cloud computing, and it's because of this idea called moments of need. All right, now we have many kinds of moments of need, and if we have any psychologists or sociologists here, they could give us a full day's dissertation on this. But it basically boils down to points like this, right? We discover we have a problem. Then we start to gather information about that problem. So we seek information from many different sources. We then take that information, evaluate our options. Typically, we buy something, we build something, right? Or we acquire something, we steal something. We do something to solve that need, solve that problem. Then we turn around and begin to use it, to apply it, to solve that need. We evaluate it, right? Did it do what we expected it to do? Was our information that we sought valid? Then nowadays, we begin to socialize. We start to tell other people about it, right? We create this web, like we demonstrated earlier. So we socialize it, and nowadays we do that digitally. And in some shape or form, those steps caused a transformation. Hopefully it was a good transformation, but it transformed us in some way, right? Because we solved that problem, which leads to transformation. Now, we're in an age where they're calling digital transformation, and what they're really describing is the fact that we're online. We're all sitting here actively using our smart devices. Our homes are filled with smart devices. Our homes are filled with sensors. Our homes are filled with leaf node type devices, from our television subscribers, our TV subscribers, our phone subscribers. All these smart devices are making it so that we're online and accessible to all kinds of real-time experiences. And these devices are further enabling us to have what's called a transformative experience. Now, I want to step back for one moment here. If you look at this pattern of moments of need, you can actually think of that in terms of how the internet has grown. If you remember back in the early days, the internet, particularly the vendors, were posting a lot of information, but it was very static. Right? We had these static web pages. You could go up there and you could see specifications on products and so forth, but it wasn't very interactive. And over time, you've seen how it's gotten more and more interactive. Until today, it is very, very, very much interactive. Now, with this digital economy transformation that's happening, there's much more potential from our IT side to say, you know what, we can cause bigger and better transformative experiences. But to create this transformative experience actually requires that we have an enriched engagement with our customers or consumers of our services on a deeper human level, okay? So if you think about the old days of the internet, posting static information up on the internet was not very interactive, right? It was a push model. From an IT perspective, we were pushing information out to our customers and out to our consumers. But in today's world, it's becoming much more of an interactive scenario, right? And that becomes such, and you're used to it, right? You go to an e-commerce website, you'll notice nowadays if you sit there for a couple seconds, all of a sudden it pops up and says, hey, we noticed you're sitting on our page for a second, can we help you? Right? Much more interactive dialogue. And we're tired of the computer simulated voice popping on and saying, trying to direct you. We want that human interaction. But the success in getting this transformation means that we have to, from an IT perspective, serve them at that moment of need, right? So we've got to give them the right experience at that perfect moment. So think about it this way, right? If a salesman calls you, tries to sell you a product, and you have no need for that product, they've missed that moment of need, you turn them away because there's no need. But if they hit you at that perfect moment when you're seeking information or ready to buy, all of a sudden you're ready to listen to them. So the key here is that for us as vendors to be successful, we have to serve consumers, and I'm using the word consumers, so customers or people consuming our services, we have to serve them in their moments of need, okay? Now, it's easy to visualize this in the retail space, but the same principle applies to many different areas, many different industries. From healthcare to finance to manufacturing, we could give all kinds of different examples about those moments of need. And I was at the OpenStack Days event in China a couple of weeks ago. Huge success. I mean, we had over 2,000 people there. And I was able to have China UnionPay. They're using OpenStack on stage. So I was on stage with them, and he made this statement. He said that with the recent digital revolution, tens of thousands of private customers have started accessing our online resources simultaneously. In this dynamic, fast-changing landscape, we wanted the ability to seamlessly adapt to those requests from those online users, and they're expecting reliable, on-the-go access to leading-edge banking services, okay? So there's their problem statement. From an IT perspective, there's their problem statement. Their consumers, their users of their services are becoming mobile, global, and they're expecting it to be reliable, okay? And they're expecting it to be seamless. And they're also expecting that they're rapidly changing and those services are evolving, okay? So there's a lot of pressures there. A lot of opportunity, but there's a lot of pressures there. So how do they meet that? Well, the answer is cloud. That's really what led us to cloud. Cloud's been around in many shapes and different names for many, many years. But it was once us as users and consumers recognized that we wanted to have that interactive relationship with the suppliers, that's the moment where cloud started to take off. And the reason why cloud works and other technologies don't is it gives us the ability to service our consumers in their moments of need, okay? So we can, using cloud, we can address many different diverse workloads. So that's why I put up that list of all these different industries, is we can address their needs for many different types of workloads. But being interactive with people also causes an IT environment to be much more complex. Okay? So we used to talk a lot about asset utilization, maximizing the resources that we had. But it's much more about automation, and it's much more about dynamically scaling, right? and getting those services at that moment of need. So such dynamic environment means that we need to be able to control that environment and optimize it for the economics, of course, right? Because we don't have unlimited resources. But we need to be able to get the performance and scalability and reliability without introducing so much risk that it's not possible to meet those moments of need. So cloud meets that. Now, we're all here to talk about OpenStack, and so then the question is, why is OpenStack becoming the platform of choice? And I love this statement from Jonathan, because he basically said, I don't remember when you said this, but a long time ago, I just wrote it down because I really loved it. He basically said, it's becoming the platform for every cloud technology that matters for the next decade and beyond. Okay? So that dynamic relationship is one that's going to keep changing and growing over time, and you need a platform that's going to be able to do that for the next decade and beyond. And OpenStack is the platform that allows us to do that. Now, of course, I'm standing here with my vendor hat on, so of course, part of our OpenStack ecosystem, an important piece of that is the vendors that are producing products that provide us that reliability and availability to do that. And Suse is one of those that does that. So going back to my example here from China UnionPay, at the end of his speech, he gave us this quote. He said, "The flexibility of OpenStack means that it is fully adaptable to our evolving requirements, making it easier for us to devise and deploy new functionality as our business continues to grow." So they were able to take that problem statement, turn it into action, and begin to see the results. So they've rolled out OpenStack, and they're able to begin to meet those demands from a very interactive and digitally mobile consumer. And doing so, they're able to come up and they're inventing some very unique and creative ideas on how to meet their needs going forward and in the future. And with that, I say thank you.
Very good. Alan, thank you very much for your good speech. Michel, we saw some questions coming in.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's good, huh?
Yeah.
So can you show the Buzzmaster screen? Because everybody knows.
I'm going to leave the beer question to Jonathan. But actually, I do know that if you come to the OpenStack Summit in Barcelona, I know that there are some vendors in the booths that are going to be serving beer.
Ah, very good, very good. Hopefully we'll have beer at the end of this day as well.
You know, and actually, not to do a vendor plug here, but at our SuseCon conference last year, we actually did beer as a service.
Really new business models. Very good, very good.
So meeting those customer needs, we knew it was beer as a service.
Yeah. I completely concur with that. So some people have, let's say, questions from you from a vendor's perspective, otherwise more as a board member of the OpenStack Foundation. Dion van Bavel has a good question. How do you think you can adopt all projects that are being created almost monthly under the big umbrella?
That is a very good topic. So the technical, so you have to recognize we have three parts to our governance model. We have the board and we have the technical committee. The technical committee are the first ones to answer this question, right? And they look at several criteria to determine what and if a project should be part of OpenStack. And first of all is that it meets the mission. Right? So OpenStack has a mission to build a ubiquitous cloud service that meets the needs of our users and operators that can scale for large and small environments. And now my brain just clicked off. Can scale, easy to use, easy to implement, and something else that I just forgot.
But is it hard to?
So it is a challenge, right?
That's when you say it's really hard. Eh? We always say
there's so much technology.
Right.
And the beauty of open source is it has become the place to innovate.
Right.
And so we have a lot of ideas, we have a lot of enthusiasm, we have a very large community, and those ideas are flooding in. The challenge for the TC is to make sure that those ideas fit with OpenStack, right? And are those projects meeting the criteria to be viable part of OpenStack?
Right.
It's been a big
Björn
challenge
has a
for
good
them.
question as well then,
Yeah.
because you say it's a place to innovate. Well, let's say 5-year time in the IT industry is like light years.
It is, it's a
So,
lifetime.
yeah, it's a lot of time. So, but Björn has a good question. What will it look like? What do you think? 5 years time.
5 years from now, I actually saw an interesting statement from an analyst, and I didn't think it was that shocking, but the first time I said it, people really looked shocked and surprised. And what the analyst said to me was, in 5 years from now, we won't even be using the word cloud. Cloud will be just become the de facto infrastructure, and it'll just be there.
Yeah. And OpenStack will have to be there as well.
Definitely,
Yeah.
right?
Alan Clark, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Right. Alan, thanks.